So everybody talking about Calvin Johnson for DIB Sports episode, and they said that Calvin Johnson wasn't treated right as a Detroit Lion, and that was one of the reasons why he retired. Um, Maybe there's stuff behind the scenes we just didn't see. Maybe the owner, the Fords, were straight jerks or something. Maybe they just didn't appreciate him or treat him with no respect. Because you get paid a lot of money doesn't mean you get respect. And respect is something priceless. And you should respect anybody, from the poorest poor to the richest rich. I don't care how much money you have. You should treat people with respect. Um, I'm on the fence in here too as well because the Detroit Lions paid him 8-year deal, 132 million, 60 million guaranteed. Those are quarterback contracts. Even Tom Brady don't get a contract like that. And Calvin Johnson was one of the best wide receivers of our time. Now, if he kept playing, maybe he could have surpassed the greats. But I don't put him surpass the greats at all. Someone has really said that Calvin Johnson was better than Randy Moss. No, he wasn't. Randy Moss is one of those once in a lifetime wide receivers that you won't see in a long time. He was faster than Calvin Johnson. He caught the ball a lot better than Calvin Johnson, and he had more impact to me than Calvin Johnson. Tom Brady wasn't a deep threat quarterback until he got Randy Moss, and I think Randy Moss elevated Tom Brady's game. Tom Brady is going to be considered the best quarterback of all time, but even before that, he was more of a dink dunk kind of quarterback when he won 3 Super Bowls. I mean, he didn't have the greatest receivers. He didn't have the best talent. His best weapon of all time was Randy Moss, and when he showed up, Randy Moss elevated his game to a different level. He threw over 50 he threw 50 touchdowns that year, second best to Peyton Manning. So Randy Moss was a bad dude. So to say he's Calvin Johnson's better than Randy Moss is a joke. It's a joke because his stats and touchdown don't even line. Though Calvin Johnson has some NFL records, he's not close to NFL to Randy Moss. Nope. He retired too early, in my opinion. He did the Barry Sanders move. So Barry Sanders, probably the best Detroit Lion of all time, retired the same way. Was disgusted, disheartened, and just didn't love the game anymore because the Lions treated him a bad way. So I'm assuming that there's something wrong with that ownership. They sued Calvin Johnson for 300 grand. Really, bro? Really, 300 grand? That's some petty stuff. You are a billionaire. 300 grand is like 3 pennies to you. Seriously? They were butthurt when Calvin Johnson retired, so that was a butthurt move. It's sad that Calvin Johnson left the game the way he did. I felt like he left a lot on the table. And if he didn't like being at Detroit, why couldn't he just go to a different team? Maybe go with the Packers, play with the rivals, with Aaron Rodgers. That would be a great fit for him. Even playing for the Vikings, why don't you play for them too? There's plenty of options where he could have went besides the Detroit Lions, but I guess he just didn't love the game as much. And that's the difference between him and Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was obsessed with the game. Terrell Owens was obsessed with the game. Well, he was obsessed with himself. He was T.O. But at least he worked out hard and he gave his 110%. Randy Moss, if he had Jerry Rice's attitude, he probably would be the best wide receiver of all time. But you will never see a contract like that ever again. 8-year deal, 60 million guaranteed with 132 million on paper. I mean, Calvin Johnson was a bad dude, but he left a lot on the table. I can't even consider. I can consider maybe a top 10 wide receiver of all time, but I can't consider a top 3 at all. I wouldn't even put him in. I gotta check out the stats, but he's even questionable with top 5. I put Chris Carter over Megatron, and man, Chris Carter was the man. And even though he didn't win a Super Bowl, he put in the work. Check out his highlights, man. That guy was a beast. But I don't know if I consider Calvin Johnson top 5 because the way he left the game. He just said, "Whatever, I'm out, deuces." What do you think? You think I'm crazy? You think Calvin Johnson's better than Randy Moss? You think I'm wild for saying that? I don't care. What I do care about is put that comment down. I want to hear your thoughts. DIB Sports. Deuces.